Badly Lori K. Soares was born on December 31, 1976. She was adopted by Thelma and Harold Soares and grew up in sunny California. Harold worked as a Spanish and Portuguese teacher, and he and Thelma first met while serving as missionaries for their church. When Lori turned 10, her parents divorced, prompting Thelma and Lori to relocate to Orem, Utah, leaving her father and brother Paul behind in California. As a child, Lori was characterized as intelligent, confident, outgoing, and popular, earning admiration from her peers for her academic excellence and overall remarkable nature. Mark Hacking was born on April 24, 1978, to Janet and Doug Hacking in Orem, Utah. He was one of 7 children in a large family known for its remarkable achievements. Janet worked as a nurse, while Doug was a pediatrician. The family, members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, placed great importance on the image of perfection, with all the children excelling in various pursuits. Mark was an adventurous spirit, known for his charisma and love of making others laugh, often seeking attention in humorous ways. Mark and Lori first crossed paths as teenagers during a camping trip. At the camp, Mark was engaging in foolish antics, pretending to injure himself in a bid for attention. One evening, as many gathered around a campfire, Mark, seizing the moment, placed his hand in the fire to adjust a log, resulting in severe burns. Lori, displaying her characteristic kindness and concern, rushed to his side, exclaiming her willingness to help, as she was knowledgeable in first aid. She tended to his injuries, and their connection deepened from that moment onward. Mark and Lori became high school sweethearts. Upon graduating, Mark embarked on his first mission for the Mormon Church in Winnipeg, Canada. Missionaries are required to adhere to numerous strict rules, including prohibitions on drinking, smoking, caffeine, television, films, music, and interactions with girls. Their reading material is limited to religious texts. Initially, Mark performed well on his mission, which was not unexpected given his likable nature. However, he soon began to struggle with the stringent regulations. He started sneaking out to local bars, partying, staying out late, and engaging in relationships with young women, justifying his actions as attempts to convert them to the Mormon faith. Unfortunately for Mark, this predatory behavior was short-lived, as he was caught and sent home. His family felt immense embarrassment over the damage to their reputation, but Mark insisted it was a misunderstanding and urged them to remain calm. While Lori had her doubts about Mark's fidelity during his absence, she chose to trust him and move past her concerns. After Mark returned from his mission, their relationship appeared to be in a good place. They both enrolled at the University of Utah and married in 1999. Lori graduated with honors in business and secured a promising position at Wells Fargo, while Mark pursued his ambition of becoming a doctor, continuing his studies for several more years to gain admission to medical school and obtaining a part-time job at a local hospital, demonstrating his determination to achieve his goals. Lori and Mark appeared to be in a favorable situation, yet beneath the surface of their seemingly perfect life, issues were beginning to emerge. In 2004, Mark was on the verge of graduating and informed Lori that he had secured a place at a medical school in North Carolina to pursue oncology, which thrilled her immensely. As they prepared for their significant relocation, Lori discovered that she was pregnant, adding another layer of complexity to their plans. On July 16th, while Lori was busy organizing the move, she contacted the University of North Carolina to inquire about financial aid, particularly in light of her pregnancy. To her astonishment, the university informed her that they had no record of Mark Hacking, stating that he had never applied to their institution. Confused and distressed, Lori realized that her entire world was being turned upside down. Although she had suspicions about Mark's honesty, she had yet to grasp the full extent of his deception. Determined to seek clarity, Lori confronted Mark directly, demanding an explanation. He dismissed her concerns, claiming it was merely a misunderstanding and attributing the issue to a technical glitch in the system. Despite her desire to trust him, Lori found herself grappling with doubt. A sense of foreboding initially struck her, leading her to dismiss her concerns with a casual attitude, urging him to resolve the issue. However, a few days later, on July 18, 2004, her demeanor shifted dramatically. She demanded to know the truth. It was at this moment that Mark confessed to the deception he had maintained for years. He had been leading a double life, meticulously preparing each day by packing his bag with books before heading to campus. Once Lori left for work, he would return home, indulging in video games throughout the day. In the evenings, when Lori came back, he would feign studying, and on occasions, he would meet her for lunch, sharing fabricated tales of academic stress. The extent of his deceit was astonishing. He devoted immense energy to sustaining this facade, energy that could have been better spent on his education. Lori, feeling betrayed both financially and emotionally, was understandably furious. She had been the one supporting him, placing her trust in him, and had even resigned from her job while pregnant. Now, her life felt completely upended. Following a significant argument, she penned a letter to Mark, expressing her desire to grow old with him but stating that she could not continue under the current circumstances. She conveyed her distress about returning home from work, as it was painful to be in their apartment. Furthermore, she warned him that if he did not change, she would seek a divorce. After leaving the note for him to read, she went to bed. That evening, Mark read the letter and, inexplicably, became enraged. Mark was filled with indignation, questioning how Lori could expect him to be honest with her and others, despite his shortcomings as a husband. He felt a strong sense of control over the situation, even acknowledging his flaws. Additionally, Mark was deeply concerned that Lori might reveal his secrets to others, prompting him to take drastic measures. On July 19, 2004, at approximately 10:07 a.m., Mark contacted the police to report Maureen as missing. He informed them that Lori had gone jogging at Memory Grove Park that morning, a routine she often followed, but she had not returned. In a state of panic, Mark then called Lori's mother to share the alarming news. The police promptly arrived at the park and discovered Lori's car in a nearby parking lot, escalating the concern among those involved. A detective requested to search Mark and Lori's home for any suspicious signs, to which Mark, displaying a lack of foresight, readily agreed, claiming he had nothing to conceal. Upon entering the residence, the detectives quickly observed several inconsistencies. They found Lori's purse and wedding ring on a side table, along with her keys, raising questions about how she could have driven her car. Although they considered the possibility of a spare set, they noted that the car seat was adjusted far back, suggesting that someone much taller than Lori, likely Mark, had driven it last. Furthermore, they discovered a letter from Lori to Mark, which clearly indicated a potential motive. Evidence is increasingly suggesting that the apartment was excessively clean, raising suspicions that someone may have attempted to conceal a crime. Additionally, a new mattress had been placed on the bed, adorned with fresh sheets that bore deep creases, indicating they had likely just been removed from their packaging. Consequently, authorities searched Mark's vehicle and discovered a receipt for a mattress from a nearby store, timestamped at 10:23 a.m. just 16 minutes after Mark reported his wife missing. It raises the question, who goes shopping for a new mattress when their spouse is unaccounted for? Furthermore, police uncovered a hunting knife, stained with fresh blood, on the bedside table. Mark dismissed the discovery, claiming he had recently taken up hunting, downplaying its significance. This led investigators to suspect his involvement, yet they were constrained by the circumstantial nature of the evidence, preventing immediate action. As the media and local community became aware of the unfolding situation, Mark began to relish the attention, dramatically portraying his grief on television and expressing his devastation. Meanwhile, forensic analysis revealed traces of Lori's blood in the bedroom, which matched the blood found on the hunting knife and in Mark's car. Ultimately, the original mattress was located in a nearby dumpster, with a large square cut out of it, suggesting it may have once concealed a body. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Mark sensed that his deception was unraveling, prompting him to consider one final attempt to evade capture. He attempted to feign insanity, leading to a disturbance outside a motel early the next morning, which prompted a police response. The disturbance involved Mark, who was found running outside in the nude. Upon the officers' arrival, they noted that it was unusual for someone to be running around without clothing. However, upon recognizing Mark, they remarked on his eccentricity, particularly noting that he was still wearing sandals. This detail led them to question the authenticity of his supposed insanity. They reasoned that if he were genuinely unhinged, he would not have thought to wear shoes while being otherwise unclothed. Despite their skepticism, the police felt compelled to transport him to a psychiatric facility to gather further evidence against him. As the investigation progressed, they uncovered the extent of Mark's deceitful life, including his false claims about graduating from pre-med school 2 years earlier. The revelations soon became public, inciting outrage from his family and the community. In response, 2 of Mark's brothers visited him at the psychiatric hospital, demanding to know the truth. Overwhelmed, Mark confessed to them about his academic fabrications and recounted the events involving Lori. He explained that on July 18th, after reading Lori's letter, he was consumed by rage, which led him to retrieve his rifle and enter their bedroom while she was asleep, aiming the weapon at her back. Lori's head was shot, and Mark's brothers promptly informed the authorities, leading to Mark Hacking's eventual arrest. During his confession, Mark revealed that he had disposed of Lori's body in a local dumpster scheduled for collection that morning. Detectives initiated a search for her remains to provide closure for her family, ultimately discovering them on October 1st, 2 months after Mark's admission of guilt. The news left everyone in profound sorrow, but the subsequent developments were even more astonishing. On April 15th of the following year, Mark entered into a plea agreement with the prosecution, resulting in a sentence of 6 years to life in prison, which was the maximum penalty in Utah at that time. This meant a mere 6 years for the murder of his wife and their unborn child. Following Mark's sentencing, the parole board assured the public that he would serve a minimum of 30 years and would not be eligible for parole until 2035. Consequently, Mark remains incarcerated to this day. However, the initial 6-year sentence raised questions about the adequacy of the law, which has since been amended in Utah due to the implications of Mark Hacking's case. Currently, the maximum penalty in Utah stands at 15 years to life. The overarching lesson from this tragic story is a caution against relocating to Utah, and we extend our heartfelt condolences to Lori Hacking, whose beautiful spirit deserves to be honored, especially in light of her husband's reprehensible actions.